Hassan, Quorum,
Present.
Hall,
Here.
Nolan,
Here.
Preisel,
Here.
Winkle,
Here. Present.
Wecken.
Present.
Mary, are you here?
Yes, present.
Thank you.
All right. First item on the agenda, approval of July 14 meeting minutes. Can you guys hear okay? I'm getting
Yeah.
feedback here.
Yep. Yeah, you sound all right.
Okay. All right.
Move to approve.
Who's that?
Joyce.
I've got a big white square in front of my screen, so you have to say your name. So it'll be Joyce.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Do we have a second?
Who was the second?
I think Kurt jumped in there.
Kurt. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
Maybe.
No, it was Nolan.
Second.
That was okay.
Both of us.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, next item, informational only foundation.
We have to vote
redesign.
on, we have to
Yeah.
vote on the,
Okay, sorry about that.
Mhm.
All right, all in favor?
aye.
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 Opposed?
Thank you.
Okay. All right, next item, informational only. Foundation redesign of the existing garage, new south wall and new retreatment building.
Okay, so just John Friel and Jason Burns are also on the call, so I'll just give a quick recap here, and then I'll turn it over to them. So they started tearing the garage down for the new pre-treatment building, and underneath the garage, they found piles. So if you don't know what a pile is, it's basically, I believe these are the steel ones that they drive into the ground, and that's what the floor of the garage was poured on, and that's what it sat on. Nobody knew that them piles were there. Through record searches and things like that, we didn't know that they were there. So once they started digging these up, the issue came up that, okay, now what do we do with them? Do we remove them? Do we use them? How do we proceed? So I guess with that lead in, I will just turn it over to Jason or John. It looks like Jason might be ready to go here. I believe, Jason, I did give you screen share ability. So if you did want to screen share anything, things like that, but they'll just kind of walk us through on what they found, and then what the solution is going to be to fix this. Like I said, we're not voting on anything at this time because it's going to be, more than likely it's going to be a change order, but we don't know what that change order is going to be yet at this point. So what we'll do is just kind of give you guys information at this time, just so when the change order does come through, if we even need to, it might just be a DNR approval on that change order, just depending on how much it is and what's all involved with this. So with that, I guess I'll just turn it over to Jason. And if you guys do have any questions, if it's, something that you don't understand, definitely feel free to jump in and ask questions. So Jason.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Thanks, Kip. I will try to share my screen here. I think this one right here. Share. Can everybody see my screen there?
Yeah, it looks good.
So like Kip mentioned, during the design phase of this, we weren't aware of any piles or anything underneath this building. It's a fairly light building, a garage structure, so it's basically constructed of CMU walls, not a lot of weight there, and nothing else on the site is constructed on piles. And like Kip mentioned, a really general description of a pile is a deep foundation, and the reason that we have deep foundations on certain structures is there is unsuitable soils in the shallower depths of the foundation area where we would have put a shallow foundation.
Jason,
Jason,
can I jump in here?
Yeah.
Can you guys mute? I'm getting a lot of feedback, and I'm sure we're getting a lot of feedback.
It's
on the recording.
Pat's iPad speaker that's feeding back. You can just turn
How
that
do I
down.
mute
so-
it? There's a volume buttons on the top.
There should be a mute right on your screen, Pat. A mute button.
Well, I don't see it.
Here, I can mute you. There. All right. Thank you. I got
Does that sound better now?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so like I was saying, basically what happens when a decision is made to put a building on piles, that means that there's some unsuitable soils there or something that they wanted to make sure to get past kind of the unsuitable stuff, and then they found the building on that, basically. So that's what they decided to do here. We weren't aware of that. So when they started demoing half of that building to place the new preliminary treatment building there, the contractor discovered these piles. So they informed us right away that they had found these, because obviously they weren't expecting those. So they turned it over to us to kind of determine one of two things. Should we reuse the piles that are there? Should we ignore them and either cut them down to an area or a depth that it doesn't affect us anymore, or remove them? How should we proceed? So we talked with our senior engineers in-house, our structural senior engineer. I am the structural engineer of record for this project, but we had our senior structural engineers and then our senior geotechnical engineers kind of take a look at this, and we all kind of talked about it and came up with the two options of what we should be doing. You can kind of see on my screen here, it might be a little bit tough to see, but I'll try to zoom in and show you. You can see the gray colored grid lines on my page here. They're both vertically and horizontally. That's actually an underlay of the layout of the piles that are out there. And that's an underlay on where it would end up sitting in respect to the new preliminary treatment building. And I'll just kind of zoom in here, and you can see the piles are actually circular pipes that are driven really deep into the ground. And so then that's what the building sits on, and that's what gives the building stability, and it reduces settlement and things like that. So these little piles actually lay out in a pretty decent pattern underneath where we are proposing the new preliminary treatment building. Part of the decision, or part of the options are, like I said, try to reuse them or get rid of them. We really think that it is beneficial to reuse them. They were put there for a reason, and it seems more cost effective to go ahead and reuse them. And you can see that they lay out in a pretty good pattern underneath the proposed walls that we were going to be having anyways. So it actually works out fairly well to try to reuse them as best we can. But you will see that there's this portion of the building, the southernmost portion of the building, that currently hangs further south than where the existing piles lay. And so one thing that you don't really want to do with the building is have part of it on piles and part of it not on piles. You're just introducing the possibility of having differential settlement, or having that part sag into the ground more than what's on the piles. And that's what we definitely want to avoid, especially because this portion of the building right here is water containing. And then also this portion right here is actually, there's channels that move from inside the building to outside of the building. So there's a lot of liquid containing things that are happening between the two areas. So one thing that we really want to minimize is differential settlement or anything like that. In addition to reusing all the piles that are there, the option that we're looking at right now is to add a few more piles out here so that the entire building is actually founded on piles. And that seems to be our best option at this point. If we would have known that these piles were there in the beginning during the design phase, this is the direction we would have been going anyways. What this does for us is it gives us the opportunity to minimize total and differential settlement, which is basically the building kind of settling down into the ground. And basically every building does that to some extent, especially on shallow foundations. In a normal situation, we try to make sure that it doesn't settle differently. So that's differential settlement. We want it to try to settle together. But in this case, since there's already existing piles there and we would put the new one on piles, there should be very little settlement due to that because it's a very stiff and sturdy foundation that we're going to be putting it on. So those are some of the options that we're looking at. Part of the design is, or part of the redesign would be we need to make sure that the foundations that we have underneath there are suitable as they're designed right now, or if we need to maybe reinforce the foundations a little bit differently than we were before, because it's a different loading situation now. That's kind of a quick overview. I know that I went through maybe a little bit of information kind of quickly there. Does anybody have any questions in general about that, or any follow-up, or want more information about anything on that? And
Do you
if
have
I
a
skipped
question?
anything, or yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Sure. Say, I was just wondering, so prior to the construction, was there any soil testing that was done to determine?
There was.
what needed to be?
Yes.
Yeah.
We did get soil borings done in the area of the new preliminary treatment building, and they basically determined that there was a pretty deep zone of soil that was going to have to be excavated and then reintroduce better soils in there. So we did anticipate some unsuitable soils. And on top of, so that's actually a very good question, and I kind of skimmed over that. Part of the current design without these deep foundations would be that they would have to go in and dig out all of this, the unsuitable soil, and replace it with more suitable soil. That depth and the dewatering efforts will very likely be minimized because of that. There still will be some excavation, obviously, because we need to get down to the depth of the foundations anyways, but there'll be less over excavation needed with this option. And it should be less dewatering efforts for the contractor as well on this effort. So it'll be a little bit of give and take there. So there'll be less excavation and less additional soil brought onto the site. But then there's going to be a little bit additional cost to drive the extra piles here. And those costs, we're still working with the contractor to kind of come up with what those costs would be.
Does anyone else have questions?
So Jason, then, so where do we go from here then? I guess what's next steps, and just so they're aware of next steps.
Yes, good question. So we already had the contractor remobilize and get another soil boring in the location where we were looking to put new piles. And the reason that we had an extra one is the other pile, or the other borings that we had, they went about, I think, 25 to 30 feet down. So we got a good view of what that would be. But typically a pile needs to go much deeper than that. And the soil that we captured in the first boring didn't really capture any suitable soil that we would want to actually land a pile on. So we had a deeper soil boring done so that we could actually get a full view of what the soil is down below there. So we did capture the suitable soils on what we would try to be hitting when we drive a pile. So we've already looked at that. Right now, SEH internally, I'm actually taking a look at the foundations to see if there's any adjustments that we need to do to the foundation to make this suitable to sit on piles versus a shallow foundation. So I'm working through that right now. In addition to that, we've already talked to the contractor, Magni, to get them to contact some pile drivers to get some costs on that, and try to work with them to figure out what the change order would be for this type of work. So we're going to keep in contact with UKIP and Magni and everybody involved to make sure everybody knows what's going on. But currently what we're doing is re-looking at the foundations on this to see if there's any adjustments we need to make. Right now, I haven't found really too many adjustments in the foundations that we need to make other than adding the additional piles. Right now, SEH is working through that design.
What's your time frame on that?
Well, my time frame is as soon as possible. I am hopefully trying to work through that this week to get that design and any adjustments that we need to make done this week. and then send that over to the contractor and have internally have everybody check it out and see if we need any additional adjustments made, and then send that to the contractor and have them put together the proposal or the change order to see what that ends up being, and then have a meeting with you guys with Kip and keep him involved to make sure that he knows what's going on and where we're standing with those options.
So, and just to be, oh, I'm sorry, Susie, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying, okay.
So, and just to be clear that Maggie is still working down there, that this isn't, it's a bump in the road, but it's nothing that has shut it down or anything like that. So I don't believe we're looking at extra time or anything like that.
Nothing extra on the project timeline at all for this?
Well, there's other stuff right now. I believe they're working on that south wall. There's other things that they can be doing down there. So that's what they've been doing. All this is trying to figure out.
Okay.
I can't say at this point that it might not add, a couple of weeks to a finish line here at the end of 2021, but that's over a year out. So I guess we'll just see.
Okay, thank you.
So is there any other questions for Jason or anything like that? And again, this just was for information only because we really don't have a whole lot, to go off of other than where they're at and what they're doing. So. So if there's nothing else, then I think we can probably move on. Easy.
Okay, very good. Item 4, discussion and possible action on the wastewater treatment plant improvement project, Magni Construction, pay request number 2.
Okay, first of all, thanks John, for giving us that. So application payment number 2 has come in. Let's see, it is for, I'm just trying to find it here. $166,390.70. In your packet, you do have SEH has gone through what Magni has turned in and verified that what they have turned in is work that has been done. So we are good to make that payment. So we're looking for a motion to authorize payment of $166,390.70.
All right, would somebody like to make a motion for that?
And pay request
This is
number
David, and I'll make that motion.
This is Joyce. I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
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 And I apologize, Pat. I'm trying to unmute you. I don't know why I can't here. Oh, there you go. Okay, you're unmuted.
Is it better now?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of feedback off that
Yeah,
one.
he sounds terrible.
So
Still
did
have
that,
feedback?
that was a little better. So Jace, did you get who made the motion and who's second?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and that did pass?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you.
All right, going back to item number 5, discussion and possible action on quarterly report.
Okay, so you've got your quarterly report in there. Gives the all the financials, just kind of some activities that we've been up to, current activities, things like that. So if there's any questions on that, we can walk through them. Do you need a vote on that, Jace?
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right, if we could get a motion for.
I'll move to approve. This is Joyce.
Quarterly report.
Second, David.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, looks like we passed the quarterly report. All right, project updates, project status report.
Okay, so on here, we did add the Lake Malibu Dam Rehab project to the project status report. And as long as we're talking about that, We are opening bids on the 20th of this month. So next week, we're going to be opening bids on this. What I would need is, since we don't meet, we're hoping to get this done yet this year. So since we don't meet now until next month, I'm looking for a date that we can go through the bids and approve one. I'm throwing out August 25th at 6 p.m. That would be the 2 Tuesdays from now. So I don't know if that's fine with everybody, if you guys can make that, or we can just do a quick Zoom meeting. It shouldn't take long. I did look at the bidders, the bid on SEH's website, ones that have taken out, and I think we're up to 5 on this that have taken out plans, and they're prime bidders. So hopefully we get some good pricing on this. So I guess.
I am on vacation. This is David, but I'll be available via Zoom. So it
Yeah,
should
everything.
work.
Yeah, we can do it all Zoom. So if nobody has an objection, we'll just do August 25th at 6 p.m. Like I said, it should be 15 minutes probably tops, hopefully, unless something really comes in goofy. So we'll just plan on that. Cross connection, it's meter program. We're probably about 50% through, 60% through. It's actually going very well. We've had great cooperation with all the customers in town, letting us in, letting us get the meter changed, let us get the cross connection done. We still are having some hiccups with the mail system. As everybody's probably well aware that the entire postal system is kind of in a I don't know what's going on. Something's going on. But we're sending out notices to our residents, to our customers, and they're getting second notices before they're getting first notices. They're getting 2 notices on the same day. It's all over the place. So we've been dealing a lot with that, just with phone calls, and things like that. People wondering why we're sending them a second notice when they haven't received the first notice yet. And then they call me back the next day and go, hey, I just got my first notice today. So other than that, it's going well. Just pretty much a hiccup with the postal system. The State Highway 35 project, that's still everything's down at the state of Wisconsin. So that's being finished up, and I believe they'll probably be going for bid here. I want to say it's either the end of this year or the first part of 2021 is when that'll go out for bid. So that'll start picking up here in the next couple months. We pretty much discussed the wastewater treatment plant project that we have going on, and what's going on down there. And then the other big one that we have is the Wisconsin Street Tower Rehab project. They moved in, I believe it was last week or the week before they actually moved in. We had a progress meeting. They're on site today. They're putting the new handrail around the top of it. Now they're getting that all welded in, things like that. They anticipate probably another week of welding, things like that. And then you'll see the big tarps go up and the cover go over the top of it, and then they'll start their sandblasting. So just so everybody is aware that they requested Saturday to work on Saturdays. Normally we do not let that happen. I did go through the mayor and through Aaron, the city administrator, and just see what their thoughts were. And it was decided that we will, to hurry the project along, we'll allow them to work on Saturday from 8 to 5. But they do need to be very conscious of any noise that they're making. We were very clear that they needed to, try to do stuff that's a little bit quieter. And if we do start getting complaints on it, things like that, then we'll obviously make some changes, at that point. But they did work last Saturday. We haven't had any complaints on it, so I guess we'll just see how everything goes here in the next couple weeks. That's about it for quarterly or for project status. Questions?
All right. Any questions? Is there no actions that we're taking there? Are there?
No, that's
just for information.
Just an update. Yeah.
Okay.
Information.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Other business for information purposes only, or for upcoming agenda
The only thing that I have, we talked about the dam opening on that, and we'll do the August 25th at 6 p.m. Meeting where we can go through proposals and hopefully award a proposal at that time. And the other thing is we are scheduled for. I had sent everybody out a meeting, or there was a survey or something set out with the North Hudson joint meeting. Since then, the mayor has indicated that he wants Andy on there only. So it is an open meeting. Everybody can log in whenever they want. If you really do want to log in, it is scheduled for the 24th of this month. And I'm going to have to look at the time. I want to say it was 6 o'clock, 5 or 6 o'clock. So, but at this time, the mayor is only requesting that Andy or one representative from the Utility Commission be at that meeting. So we'll be discussing that. He wanted to have a discussion. The village president, Stan Wecken, had reached out to the mayor requesting a meeting with the village board and city council before city council before it gets brought in front of city council on your recommendation to terminate that 1983 agreement. So I guess other than that, that's about the only information I have on that. But that'll be on August 24th. I believe it was 6 o'clock. It's going to be a Zoom meeting again. So like I said, they requested that Andy be there or Susie. Andy said he can make it, so I'll keep everybody informed on that. But like I said, it is a public meeting, so anybody is really able to just log in and things like that. So
It is at 6 o'clock.
is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So other than that, that's pretty much all I had for information or for upcoming, unless somebody else had anything they wanted to talk about.
Is there anything else from anyone?
Nothing here, David.
Okay. All right. Okay, if there's nothing else, then next item is sewer utility and water utility cash reports.
Those, Jace emailed them to you separately, so we didn't get them.
I
We didn't
emailed
get
them
them in
this morning.
time. Yeah, we didn't get them in time for the to be included in your packet. So he did email them out to you separately this morning. So hopefully everybody had a chance to take a look at them. And we'll entertain if there's any questions on them. We can go from there.
Okay. All right. Discussion and possible action on claims. Are there any? Okay.
We do need a motion on that.
Yes, we
All
do.
right.
David?
Motion to approve claims. Was that David?
Yes, it was.
David,
Second?
I'll second. This is Joyce.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Looks like that's it.
all those in
No,
favor?
we have to vote.
We have to vote on
Yep.
it, so-
Okay. Yep. All right. Is there a second?
I already
Yeah,
seconded.
Yeah, Hall
You
second.
did.
So
Okay. Sorry.
we're just looking for a vote. So all
All
those in
right.
favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed? Passes.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Move to adjourn.
Opposed.
Move to adjourn. Sorry about that.
Yeah, this is Joyce.
No, we did
You'll
that.
get used to
I'm
this,
sorry.
Susie.
It's all
I
that,
know,
it's all
I
that,
know.
it's all that banging in the background. She can't hear us.
I know. I'm a little distracted with that. I will be honest. Yeah.
Do we have a second on adjournment,
I'll second. David?
Praisel? All in favor?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.